Imagine having the power to change your habits effortlessly and unlock a better version of yourself. Habits are the secret weapon to success, and today, we're cracking the habit code to help you master your routines and transform your life. Welcome, everyone! Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects each and every one of us, whether we realize it or not. It's a topic that shapes our lives, our relationships, and even our futures. Yes, you guessed it, habits. Now, if you're thinking, oh great, another lecture about how I should stop binge-watching my favorite shows, fear not. This isn't about judgment or guilt. This is about empowerment, understanding, and cracking the habit code together. So, let's start with the basics. What exactly are habits? Simply put, habits are behaviors that we repeat regularly, often without even thinking about them. They're like the autopilot setting on your brain, allowing you to save mental energy for the more complex tasks in life. Think about it. From the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, your day is filled with habits. Some are beneficial, like brushing your teeth or going for a morning jog, while others might not serve you quite as well, like scrolling through social media for 3 hours instead of getting that workout in. Now, how do these habits form? Well, they develop through a process called habit loops. This is where it gets interesting. A habit loop consists of 3 key components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Let's break it down. The cue is the trigger that initiates the habit. It could be something external, like the time of day or a specific location, or it could be an internal cue, like an emotional state, stress, boredom, or even happiness. Next comes the routine, which is the behavior itself. Finally, we have the reward, the benefit you receive from completing the habit, which reinforces the behavior and makes you want to do it again. Let's take a relatable example. Imagine you're feeling stressed after a long day at work. Your cue is the stress itself. You might reach for a chocolate bar as your routine, and the momentary comfort you feel from that sweet treat is your reward. Over time, your brain starts to associate stress with chocolate, solidifying that habit in your life. It's a classic habit loop in action. And here's a fun fact for you. Research from Duke University shows that habits account for approximately 40% of our daily actions. That's a significant chunk of our lives governed by these unconscious behaviors. So, if we can crack the code and understand how habits work, we can take control of our behaviors and ultimately our lives. Now let's dive into the science behind these habit loops. Understanding them is essential if you want to create new habits or break old ones. The psychology of triggers is fascinating. Triggers can be external, like seeing your running shoes and feeling motivated to exercise, or internal, like feeling bored and reaching for your phone to scroll through social media. Let's consider a common habit loop. You feel bored, cue. You pick up your phone and scroll through social media, routine. And you feel entertained, reward. Now, what if we could reprogram that loop? Instead of scrolling, you could replace that routine with reading a book. So now, your new habit loop looks like this: bored, cue, reading a book, routine, mental stimulation, reward. By identifying your triggers, you can gain control over your responses and consciously replace unhealthy habits with healthier ones. So, how do you identify your triggers? Here are a couple of methods. First, try journaling. Write down your habits and emotions throughout the day to spot patterns. You might be surprised at what you discover. Second, practice observation. Pay attention to recurring thoughts, feelings, or environments associated with specific behaviors. Common triggers can include the time of day, like feeling sleepy mid-afternoon, locations, like entering the kitchen and automatically snacking, or emotions, like feeling stressed or lonely. And here's a practical tip. Consider using a habit tracker. Whether it's a fancy app like Habitica or just a simple notebook, tracking your triggers and responses can work wonders for your self-awareness. Now that you've identified your triggers, let's talk about harnessing them for positive change. This is where the magic happens. You can create positive associations by pairing new habits with enjoyable activities. For instance, if you want to start exercising, why not listen to your favorite podcast while you work out? This way, you're not just getting fit, you're also having a blast. And let's not forget about rewards. There are two types of motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from within, like the pride or joy you feel from accomplishing a goal. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, involves tangible rewards, like treating yourself to something special after a workout. Both can be powerful tools in your habit-building arsenal. Now, here's a key insight. Studies show that habits are easier to form when they're tied to existing routines. For example, if you want to start meditating, try doing it right after you brush your teeth. By linking it to a habit you already have, you're more likely to stick with it. Let's talk about dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. This little neurotransmitter plays a critical role in habit formation. It's released when we anticipate or receive a reward, reinforcing the behavior. So, how can you use this knowledge to your advantage? Well, consider giving yourself immediate rewards after completing a habit. It could be as simple as a piece of chocolate after a workout, or a few minutes of your favorite show after finishing a task. And don't forget about the power of delayed gratification. Visualize those long-term rewards to stay motivated. Picture yourself healthier and happier after weeks of consistent exercise. That mental image can be a powerful motivator on days when you feel like skipping your workout. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: sustaining those positive changes. Consistency is the secret sauce of habit formation. Research shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, so stick with it. Remember, self-compassion is key. Don't beat yourself up for setbacks. Instead, focus on your progress and how far you've come. A strong support system can also make a world of difference. Share your goals with friends or join communities for accountability. When you have people cheering you on, it makes the journey much more enjoyable. And if you do experience a setback, don't panic. Use those failures as learning opportunities. Ask yourself, what triggered this behavior? And plan how to avoid it next time. The important thing is to return to your routine immediately. One slip doesn't have to undo all your hard work. As Robert Collier once said,
"Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out." That's the essence of habit formation.
So, as we wrap up this exploration of habits, remember that they are the foundation of your life. By understanding the science of habit loops, identifying your triggers, and harnessing the power of dopamine, you can reshape your behaviors and achieve your goals. It's all about patience and consistency. Every small step you take brings you closer to the life you envision. Now, here's my encouragement for you. Start small. Choose one habit to focus on today. Track your triggers, celebrate your successes, and stay committed. And why not share this journey with a friend? Together you can support each other and crack the habit codes side by side. So let's get started on this exciting journey of positive change. Your future self will thank you.